Phil Jackson is a racist. In his own quotes, Phil Jackson himself admits that he hasn't watched the NBA since the bubble. And why has Phil Jackson not watched the NBA since the bubble? Because they had slogans on the floor and the baseline, and people want to see sports as non-political. Well, what kind of slogans were on the floor of the NBA during the bubble? Here it is. Right there, Black Lives Matter. Phil Jackson is a bona fide racist, and I'm not surprised though. Pippen had said that when Jackson benched him in favor of Kukoc for the game-winning shot against the Knicks, that he was a racist. But also, Phil Jackson had wrote a book talking about how early in his career he wanted to trade Kobe. He gave Melo $130 million and then tried to blame him when the Knicks were failing, when it was his fault. Phil Jackson is a racist.
All right, guys, so the woke revolutionaries upset once again. And why are they upset? Well, they're upset that a man is exercising his right not to support a business or a company because the business or company has political views that he disagrees with. Now, here's the thing about this. The woke left said that this was totally fine when it came to leftist boycotts, okay? They said, look, we don't have to support certain companies that don't align with our political beliefs. We are more than free to do that, okay? We're totally fine with that, okay? So when people on the right stand up and do the same thing and say, hey, you know, we don't want to support companies that we feel like are being too political or that have political beliefs that we disagree with, leftists want to melt down and throw a fit, okay? They're doing that currently right now with Bud Light, okay? They're mad and upset because Bud Light is suffering the consequences of being too political. And now the leftists want to attack Phil Jackson, the legendary coach, NBA coach, because he says that he stopped watching the NBA because the NBA got too political and that they were trying to appeal to a certain audience, specifically post George Floyd, okay? When the NBA was doing the stupid bubble thing, right? The fake championship that LeBron won, okay? The Mickey Mouse ring. Yeah, Phil Jackson said, look, I stopped watching basketball after that, right? They got way too political, and I just don't want to watch it anymore, okay? I don't turn on sports to be lectured to about politics. And he actually said this during the interview, and we have the audio here, and I'm going to play it. And like I told you guys, the woke revolutionaries are upset. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll this clip.
Do you still watch a lot of basketball or
no? I don't.
Tell me about that. When and did you stop immediately from the time you stopped coaching?
No, I didn't. I watched some of the game evolve and decided. And they went into the lockout year and they did something that was kind of wanky. They did a bubble down in Orlando, and all the teams that could qualify went down there and stayed down there.
No audience.
And they had things on their back like, you know, justice. And yeah, I made a little funny thing like, you know, Justice just went to the basket and Equal Opportunity just knocked him down. And somebody, I had another name for a guy who has jersey in the back of a jersey, had some other slogan. So my grandkids thought that was pretty funny to play up those names. So I couldn't watch that. And the Lakers won, actually. They won that year. And
do you feel like it just made little of the game, like it made it like a sideshow? What do you think it was that turned you off?
Well, it was they even had slogans on the floor, on the baseline. It was catering. It was trying to cater to an audience or trying to bring a certain audience into play. And they didn't know it was turning other people off, you know? People want to see sports as non-political. You know, we've had a lot of different type of players that have gone on to be like, you know, Bill Bradley was a senator, number of baseball players been representatives and senators and political, but their politics stay out of the game.
Yeah, it's separate.
Doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Phil Jackson says, hey, I haven't watched the NBA since the bubble. And the reason why is because they got way too political. There were political slogans on the floor, aka Black Lives Matter, right? And I just wasn't feeling it, okay? I didn't really want to watch a game and be lectured to with political campaigns and slogans from the league, right? This is what he said. And I don't think there's anything wrong with what he said, because I stopped watching basically most sports ever since they went woke. Okay, I haven't watched any NBA, really, to be quite honest with you. I'm not even sure who won the championship last year. I think the Warriors did. Okay, and maybe the Milwaukee Bucks did the year before that. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. Right, I found out that Kevin Durant was on the Suns recently. I was like, whoa, when did Kevin Durant go to the Suns? When did that happen? I'm just saying, I'm completely ignorant about the NBA, and I used to watch the NBA. I used to watch a lot of the NFL. You know, I was a big Carolina Panthers fan. I don't even watch the Panthers anymore after growing up every, single Sunday, watching them every single. I don't watch them anymore because I'm just like, it's just too woke for me, right? If I want to watch something political, I'll turn on the TV and turn to Fox News or something, okay? But I'm not going to turn on my sports and try to get lectured to about politics, especially in a team sport, and especially when a whole league is endorsing a message, a political message. I'm not really feeling that. I don't really like that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's not just Phil Jackson. It's people like me. I'm black, okay, and I'm just like, I don't really want to watch this anymore, right? I mean, the politics is a part of it, okay? But, Phil Jackson is being called a racist, right, by the race hustlers here. Okay, you see here they're putting out images of him as a slave owner, right, or a slave master or whatever, okay, in response, right? Jamel Hill says, among the many reasons I always thought Greg Popovich was a better coach than Phil Jackson. Well, simply because Phil Jackson has opinions that you disagree with, right? Nothing to do with actual basketball and how they coach and, their accolades or whatever. Simply because he has opinions that you disagree with. Amazing. Chuck Moody, who's a leftist as well, says, Phil Jackson's bigotry ain't new. 1999, quote, they have limitations of their attention span. A lot probably due to too much rap music going in their ears. I'm just saying, I'm not necessarily sure what may be untrue about that statement, right? I mean, I'm just saying, our attention spans have been getting shorter and shorter and shorter, okay, throughout the years. It seems that Phil Jackson was recognizing this back way early before social media. 2005, quote, getting out of prison garb and thuggery aspect of basketball that has come along with hip-hop music. So clearly he doesn't like rap music, okay? He doesn't like rap music. Okay, and that's fine. There's a lot of people who don't like rap music. 2016, LeBron's posse. Apparently saying posse is bigotry, okay? In 2023, him claiming that he doesn't want to watch the NBA because it's too political is also a form of bigotry, according to Chuck Moody. Now, posting memes like this, right? Phil Jackson, when he sees a player wearing a white shirt that says Black Lives Matter. That's me too, bruh. That's me too, bruh. I mean, look, at the end of the day, anytime I see that type of shirt, somebody wearing it, I have my opinions and my beliefs about what this person might believe, right? I'm just saying. Can anyone tell me what's political about the simple statement that Black Lives Matter? Why would that be partisan or controversial? Explain it to me like I'm 5. Okay, I am going to explain it here in a little bit. But first, I want to read Roland Martin's tweet. We don't give a damn about what Phil Jackson thinks about Black Lives Matter. And he's also full of shit if he thinks sports is non-political. And Phil, the aftermath of the death of George Floyd wasn't about politics. It was about black lives, the ones that got you all those rings. All right, so again, I don't understand these people who don't believe that Black Lives Matter is a political movement, right? Like, it is by definition political because the whole purpose of it is to enact political and social change. That is the whole purpose. And this is why I hate the slogan, the phrase Black Lives Matter, is because as a white person, you get put in this awkward kind of position when you say that, hey, I don't believe Black Lives Matter or I don't support Black Lives Matter, because the phrase Black Lives Matter in and of itself makes it sound like that you're saying that you don't care about the lives of black people. And that's not what, a person is saying when they say, hey, I don't support Black Lives Matter, right? People always have to make sure that they differentiate the movement from the actual phrase or the term itself. And that's why I think that the phrase is so silly, and I actually hate it, because again, it puts you in this awkward position where you have to be very specific about what you mean when you say, hey, I don't support Black Lives Matter, right? Or whatever. Okay. But that movement is political. I mean, they were trying to force political and social change. Okay. They're trying to destroy the judicial system. Okay. They're trying to undermine the sovereignty and integrity of our institutions. They're trying to defund the police. They're trying to radically change society. By definition, that movement is a political movement. So again, it's funny how these people, who again are political activists, by the way, right? They don't understand how Black Lives Matter is political. And while somebody like Phil Jackson would say, hey, I don't agree with this political movement, that again includes defunding the police, that includes trying to undermine the sovereignty and integrity of the institutions in our country, that is Marxist, that is communist. When he says, hey, I don't agree with that, people want to act surprised and dumbfounded by it, like they don't know what he's talking about. And then they want to try to make him out to be some racist because he disagrees with a political movement whose name just happens to be Black Lives Matter. And the funny part about that is that people don't have the same knee-jerk reaction to the phrase white lives matter, right? It's totally fine to say, hey, no, I don't support white lives matter. Okay, I don't believe white lives matter. It's totally fine to say that, and nobody's going to bat an eye, right? Because they clearly can identify, for the most part, that people are talking about, the political movement of white lives matter, okay? Because it is a political movement. And they can clearly differentiate that people aren't saying that, hey, I don't care if white people die, even though a lot of these people really don't care if white people die, or they don't care about the lives of white folks. But I'm just saying, right? There's never that knee-jerk reaction when people reject white lives matter. But if you reject Black Lives Matter, though, you're a full-blown racist, okay? You're a white supremacist. You're part of the KKK. And you get, criticized the way that Phil Jackson's being criticized simply for saying, look, I don't support this. I don't like the fact that the NBA is trying to, push this on people. I just want to watch sports without being lectured to, right? I don't want politics in sports, which apparently, again, is a racist position. Apparently, you're a racist because you don't want to see politics in sports. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.